The following is a response to the video posted by Jefferson Bethke titled Why I Hate Religion But Love Jesus. Please view that video before viewing this video. Its link is in the description. What if I asked you 3 rhetorical questions? What if I gave some not-so-polite suggestions? What if I told you the content of your poem is not profound and that intro shit is obvious to anyone whose mind is sound? Religion isn't great, and not just because it sparks so many wars, and that Bible that you love calls a lot of people whores. And yes, you're right to point out how mega churches don't give food or glory to the needy kinds of people we heard of in Jesus' story. You're also right to claim that the church reeks of hypocrisy. You'll find that's a flaw in religion which isn't hard to see. I have to say your message got a bit offbeat when you were reaching for comparisons to rotten mummy meat. And you mentioned that religion doesn't get down to the core, but when you don't tell what that means, listeners want some more. You say that you're not judging right before judgments commence, like tossing slews of salty insults, prefaced with no offense. In true Christian fashion, you call other random Christians fake, which I would have to call a presumptuous mistake. I thought your God was the only one allowed to judge a person's faith, so maybe you should leave that shit to your Father, Son, and Holy Wraith. You have the nerve to say people's logic for religion won't apply anywhere else with the judgment that you shove. So please explain the suspense of your logic that goes by when you accept biblical claims from the book you say you love. Heads up, kids, here comes another Christian trick. He'll judge us vicariously through him like a condescending prick. Oh, so once upon a time you watched porn? Oh me, oh my. Guess what? I still do, and afterwards don't have to cry. Your love for Jesus makes you feel guilty every time that you have lust in your heart, which is a victimless crime. And yeah, you went to church but then enjoyed your sex and drink. You know that doesn't make you evil if you take some time to think. You weren't exactly created just to drink and fornicate, but your species did evolve to socialize and procreate. And by admitting you're unable to uphold your Bible's every rule, you aren't dropping some facade, you're pointing out your God's a tool. Why would he create you to desire that which he'd repine? Sounds to me to be a lot like unintelligent design. Churches don't do shit for people that non-believers couldn't do. If you need therapy for real addiction, that comes down to you. You don't have to hide your failures or feel guilty for your sin, because it's a made-up concept meant to guilt trip mortal men. God didn't look upon you and say, yeah, I want that man. You looked upon yourself and said, I don't like this Jefferson. So then you made a change. Some people do it several times, but you don't need to give God credit or scroll out shitty rhymes. Jesus didn't hate religion. Rather, Jesus was a Jew. And saying that you love the church and Bible makes me think a fool of you. To answer your question if Jesus could get into church today, it comes down to if he'd have enough tribute to pay. You talk about how Jesus didn't dig self-righteous now or then, but to call oneself the Son of God seems self-righteous for any mortal men. Then your poem goes back to say JC is not religion, but you never make it clear what object falls in their division. You've glorified the church and say you love the holy book. Is it the pastors you take issue with or the money-making schemes they cook? If you're going to talk about the church and Jesus' great divide, you need to give more details than what you've chosen to provide. All you've done here is to say religion's bad, Jesus is good, but you've removed some clear distinctions, so you've been misunderstood. You say that Christianity is God searching for man, so I'm curious by your definition how to be a true Christian. Rather than a logical point, you've made a catchy fulcrum phrase instead. Sounds great going in the ears, but it sours inside the head. You've said religion is man seeking God, and religion is what you hate, so stop seeking out your invisible friend and feeling guilty when you masturbate. Towards the end, you talk about how your own merits aren't a base, and then you appeal to our emotions with the blood upon Christ's face. According to your myth, he was a god in human form. Nice try. He was sent here by himself to preach, perform, and die. Your God didn't need self-sacrifice to forgive the sins of man. He could have made a sin repulsive to us rather than creating deep compulsions for these things he hates the most and instructing us to self-restrain or else forever roast. So believe me, I literally resent your religion too, mostly for making self-loathing slaves of people just like you.